Well, I have to talk about the Damian Lillard trade now. This is not how I was expecting to spend my Wednesday. This is insane. There are so many angles to this. Obviously, this video is going to be unedited because I had to get this out immediately. But there are so many angles to this that I'm probably going to have to make 3 different videos that are directly a result of this trade. So Damian Lillard is on the Bucks, and I'm just freaking out because obviously no one expected this to happen. It's just so crazy. I think the one take I'll get off right now is that this is the rare. Hang on, sorry, I just got a phone call notification. I'll have to get that later. This is a extremely rare instance of a 3-team trade where I think every team wins. I think every team wins this trade. Obviously, the Bucks are the best team in the East now. The Suns got a bunch of depth for DeAndre Ayton, which I think is exactly what they needed. And the Blazers got enough assets, I think, for Dame. So I really think they win this trade. So this is just crazy. The Heat don't have Damian Lillard, and the Bucks do. It's just, I mean, what do you want me to say? The Damian Lillard, Giannis pick and roll is gonna be so ridiculous that there's gonna be no team that can stop them. The Suns have depth now, which is insane. Because I was talking so much shit about them, and the not depth. Before, but here we are. I think the 2 best teams in the league, arguably, or maybe the 2 best teams in the conferences, other than the Nuggets, who I still think are better than the Suns. The Nuggets have much more serious competition now, in my opinion, and the Bucks are now insane. I guess if we want to get into some of the logistics of it. So the Blazers got, I think, a 28-28 and a 2030 unprotected Milwaukee pick. Or I think just a 2030. They got pick swaps, I think, in 2029 and 27. They got 2 pick swaps and at least 1 draft pick, and they're good picks. In theory, at least. Obviously, any team they were trading Dame to is just going to be, rolling the dice on whether or not those picks are good. And DeAndre Ayton is a fantastic young player for them to get. I think he's been in need of a change of scenery for a while now. I think his ceiling is a lot higher than what a lot of people who have seen him on the Suns think it is. I just can't get 2021 playoff Ayton out of my head. I think that's really who he is, which is an all-star caliber center. And so I think he's a perfect fit there because they don't have any young centers. And I think not having to go through the headache of getting Tyler Hero in the trade is fucking, that's awesome too. And what else? Drew Holiday is on the Blazers. That's a big deal because they can probably turn him into. I think you can probably get 2 solid first-round picks for Drew Holiday, or a first-round pick and a good young player. I'm not sure what destination would be for him. I guess now you could argue that they could trade him to Philly, if Philadelphia ends up losing James Harden. There are a lot of angles to where a Drew Holiday trade is also extremely significant. But I'm not even going to open that can of worms because, honestly, I don't really know. I just know that the Blazers are probably going to add 1 more young player or more draft picks probably before the season starts because I can't imagine. Their backcourt is already so crowded. And then, so the Suns added, I think, Nurkic. I know they lost their rookie Tumani Kamara. They added Nasir Little, Keon Johnson, and 1 or 2 other players. And really, they just needed bodies. I think Nasir Little is probably better than most of the players they signed in free agency, if not all of them. Nurkic definitely is, and I don't think he's that big of a downgrade from Ayton, considering the way they were using Ayton anyway. It's a defensive downgrade for sure. This team's got very little rim protection, which I think is going to be another one of their undoings. They don't really have an elite defensive center. Like, Ayton was pretty damn good. Ayton was underrated on that end, especially in the playoffs. And now they have an injury-prone guy who, like, doesn't really defend well. So, man, that's an angle. We can talk about the Heat not getting Dame. Like, I guess the Heat are just going to be, like, the Heat might miss the playoffs now, actually. Because now the whole thing that their offseason was predicated on doesn't exist. So, like, do the Heat go after a different star? Do the Heat go after James Harden? The Heat might have to go after James Harden now. Which I guess is interesting. If that happens, it's crazy. But that would also probably have to be a 3-teamer, and I'm not going to get into that either. Because I think that's highly unlikely, just going off their culture. And then, like, if we talk about the Bucks, I mean, they lost. I really don't think they lost that much depth, did they? They lost Drew Holiday. They lost picks. I don't know, man. They really didn't lose that much. I'm assuming they lost some other role players that I'm forgetting about or didn't see in the trade. So I imagine, like, the full details of this trade, just like the contracts. So I assume this trade will continue to unfold. Like, I think the James Harden trade, even though it looked like a 3-teamer in the beginning, I think ended up like 5 teams ended up being a part of that trade. So this will still evolve over the next few hours. I just had to get this out now. This is so crazy, so truly mind-blowing. I mean, I have to imagine the Bucks are the favorites now to win the title, if not like an easy number 2, and definitely I think they're definitely going to the finals. I think this probably, like, their championship window probably hasn't been extended by this, because, like, this roster could very quickly just age out. Depending on Dame's longevity, though, this could be way better than, like, a Clyde Drexler-Hakeem situation. I think it's going to be way better than that, most likely. I think this gives the Bucks at least 3 shots. Like, 3 really good shots. 3 better shots to win more titles. So, yeah, this looks really awesome. I'm a little bit... I'm still not 100% sure on Phoenix, but I feel a little bit better about them now. And I feel pretty good about the trade for the Blazers, even though I still have no respect for Joe Cronin for... holding, but I guess I understand why he did that now, because, like, we were all clowning the Blazers for not just getting this over with because it looked like the writing was on the wall. But knowing now that they can get this better package, because this package I think is just better than anything they could have ever gotten from Miami straight up. Like, Miami would have had to be a 3-team trade, and I think it just would have been more of a headache because, like, you can't really trade Tyler Herro to the Portland Trailblazers, like in that hypothetical Heat trade. But none of that matters now. This is just crazy. Just soak it up, man. This is the NBA, baby. It's the craziest league in the world. I haven't uploaded in like a month, and I wasn't planning to, I was planning to finish a series that I'm probably not going to be able to finish now. There's just not enough time left before the season starts. And also, I'm just not that interested in talking about all 30 teams in depth and trying to script shit and whatnot. So I guess we'll just have to I'll try and start uploading regularly. And for any of you that see this, if I'm trying to upload this early so it gets in the algorithm now. And for any of you that see this, I'm want to stick around, please. That would be awesome. I'll have the Twitch links down below, all that cool stuff, subscribe. This is so crazy.